Hey, what's up everybody? How's it going there, huh? Alright, happy September 1st. Yeah. Hey, I'm going to touch on a couple of things. One about Destiny's Crew, when I got shot by a flare gun. And the other one is on this guy, K. Toner. Let me see, I wrote it down. K-T-O-N-E-R. Had asked me a question. He commented on my things. I don't know the guy. I hope I'm saying it right. He was wondering what my biggest heist or score or get over was, whether it was paint, money, or what. And honestly, I would have to say, probably when I got caught stealing comic books by Herb Trimpe in 11 Penn Plaza, the Big Apple comic book convention. Yeah, he caught me stealing some comic books. And I put them back. He didn't rat me out or nothing. I actually took them from the comic book booth here. My wife was off to the side. Normally I would pick up the comic and she'd be like, come on, honey, you already got that comic. That means the guy's watching. You know, so I put it back down. If not, she's like, yeah. Flip it up to my side like this, hold it, don't even hide it. I have it like this, flip it up like this, go like that, start walking, and she's right in front of me. And then I stick it down my pants when I have them over. Anyway, Herb Trimpe caught all this shit. Any of you that don't know Herb Trimpe, Trimp Dog, alright, he worked on the Hulk comic book. He did, I don't know, he is the Hulk. Like, as far as it goes with comic books and drawing, I love this work, man. That dude's like a rock star in my eyes. That's like, I guess, when you guys that like the rap music, it's like you meeting Jay-Z or something, you know, meeting this guy. And I've actually became friends with him after that. And, I mean, he died in 2012, something like that. Last time I saw him was like around 2011. That's a funny story, too. I bumped into Revolt. Mark Baudet, Von Baudet, the Baudet character, Cheech Wizard's son, drawing a Baudet character in my son's book, you know, so we're talking and stuff, and Revolt's there, you know. So I'm like, oh, what's up, Revolt? You'll catch a tag of my son's book. Yeah, sure, what do you write, you know? It's RP, 357, man, this popped the gasket, man, he was pissed. But anyway, getting back to Herb Trimp, yeah, he caught me stealing, so I had the comic books, I put them back. Man, you're not going to tell him, you know, this, that, blah, blah. He's like, the fucking comic book industry's been ripping people off for decades, man. You know, I think it's a quarter of a century. Anyway, became good friends. So every time I bump into him, or at least I consider him a friend of mine, you know, I go by the comic book convention whenever he's around and shit. And he'd be in his little booth and he'd be drawing a Wolverine. He's actually the first person to ever draw a Wolverine. Incredible Hulk 180 with Indigo 181, which splurges into the first appearance of Wolverine. Yeah, he just did amazing comic books, man. Like the covers, he would show movement, like the Hulk would be, and you'd see like, you know, like real action. Like he was able to catch action. I real good artist, man. Just to Google him, man. Look at his comic book covers, man. From like, well, Incredible Hulk, so like 109, 110, 111, all the way through. He did the Leader, the Rhino, Sandman. So many fucking amazing characters, man. Yeah, Herb Trimp was the shit. He was did the Hulk, purple pants. Yeah, so like I said, he would be at these comic book conventions, and he'd be doing sketches for people, you know, commission drawings, they call them, and he'd have a couple of items he's selling there in his little booth. Sometimes, yeah, I'd say, oh, dude, you hungry, man? You want me to run out and get you something? You know, I'll run down, get some food or something like that and bring it back to him, you know? And that went on for decades, man, decades. Even when my son was born, before 2011, because my son was there when Revolt came up to me, but, yeah, when my son was born, he actually, I think my son was going into the first grade, 5 years old or something. Yeah, and Herb Trimp drew the Hulk, and he's like, Hulk like Bobby, Bobby not like other puny humans. you know, some weird shit like that. I'll actually dig it up. We still have it. You see what I used to do when my son was real little? I gave him a black book, like the peace book that we do our graffiti in, same exact thing. And I told him, go up to this artist, that artist, because I've been involved with comic books my whole life. And I actually, right here, under this snake tank, I have a Florida Brooksy King snake in that tank. Right under this tank here, I have an old army trunk that belonged to my father when he was in Vietnam. Still says Gordon C. Dyer on it. It's got a couple of graffiti stickers on it and shit. But it's filled with all the Hulks. I had every single Hulk ever, like, up until like 2011. Like when that Red Hulk started coming out, I was like, yo, fuck that. Then they had a Lady Red Hulk, and I kind of gave up halfway in the middle of all that shit. But, yeah, a big comic fan, and Herb Trimp was comics. I mean, in my eyes, man, he's up there with like Jack Kirby and them. I mean, he worked side by side with these people at that era of time, you know. And he would just do movements like it really looked like they were fighting and shit like that. It wasn't like stiff, you know, a real good flowing artwork, man. He really understood what he was doing. Real good artist. But yeah, so me getting caught stealing by him was probably one of the nicest things that's happened to me. Now, I'm not really a money guy. I mean, of course, everyone likes money to pay their bills and shit. But I would also say I stole this reticulated python once. I named him Gilbert. And he used to stay in my bedroom. He wound up getting about 13, 14 feet long. I used to go up to 116th Street. They used to have a lot of these chicken poultry markets. And I'd buy them a fucking chicken twice a month. Throw them a fucking chicken, let it eat it. Fucking chicken almost fucked my fucking thing up. So after that, I started breaking the chicken's neck and then feeding it to him so the chicken can't harm my snake. But I really don't know what happened to him. Somehow the snake winded up on 89th Street in this pet shop called Small Worlds or Fang and Claw. No, Fang and Claw was on 13th and Horatio or 14th Street around there. Yeah, it was Small Worlds up on 89th Street. They had all these. Little's Pet Shop. PK used to live on that block. Not Tracy, D. Wildstyle used to live on that block, and Zephyr. And there was a little pet shop, and Tracy actually had a Tracy character with the glasses. I remember when I was young, man, I'd go there and smoke weed, and I'd look at that character that Tracy drew. I'd be like, wow, you know? But yeah, anyway, my mother or my brother, or both of them, took my snake up to Small Worlds, and they had it up top. It was actually a big display. It was there for many years until the place closed. I think it actually winded up in the Bronx too. A big reticulated python. That fucking thing winded up getting about 19, 20 fucking feet. Man. Last I heard and saw of it, man. Yeah, the Small Worlds, they had it literally like a cage built above the shop, where it was like one whole long wall, man. So the thing had enough space to really grow. And, you know, they know what they were doing, how to feed it and shit. So it got pretty fucking big, man. A reticulated python is considered the longest snake on the face of this fucking earth, man. I mean, I believe they caught one, it was like 32 feet or something, which is the record. And then I heard something else, but we don't know because the thing's dead. You can stretch it out a little bit, you know, just crack the bones and shit. You know, it's a whole big thing with the Guinness Book of World Records. There's big money in that. Getting a big ass snake, you know, like that movie Anaconda. Oh, I gotta get the Anaconda, you know. But anyway, enough of that shit. And so yeah, I like that snake a lot, man. He was a big old bugger, man. He was cool, man. I've stole the glass lizard, a European glass lizard, but the large European glass lizard. That thing was almost 4 feet long. I had that thing for a couple of years too. And then I wound up giving that to this guy, Eddie Aldridge. He used to live off of York Avenue. Me and Eddie used to do all types of crazy shit with teenagers, you know. Yeah, always stealing something weird, and doing goofy shit, getting in trouble and shit. Eddie Aldridge, good guy, man, good guy. I see him on Instagram every so often. Hey, what's up, buddy? Yeah. So yeah, I a few, a dog also, Shannon, I stole from 106th Street, and right where I did that big demon. It was actually a girls' Catholic school, and on Halloween, me, D3, this kid wrote Baked. I think Boo was there. The whole 105th Street, 105th Street actually, the whole 105th Street posse was there. We painted that shit. They had everyone there. They used to sell weed there, everything. You had Mike, the twins, bunch of people, you know, selling shit, you know. And we used to hang out up there, 105th Street Posse with Asian, and then, so we did that whole fucking wall, like the whole playground actually up there. It's not even there no more, that playground. I believe it's completely gone. I actually put a building there now. Just going back, well actually, I remember I wrote 1990 and I found that one. It was shortly after I had left up to the Bronx. But, yeah. Alright, now this thing with Destiny Crew. A lot of you guys are asking about it. They came out with this book, Destiny's Crew, and in it, you know, actually Eddie, Risk, get well soon, Eddie, IBM FC, yeah, he's in the hospital right now, Eddie. Eddie Risk, he used to write Risk, IBM FC, a lot of them crews. Yeah, well, me and him were talking about doing a book about beef. Like, we were just shooting the idea about it. He's like, yo, Rob, man, nothing for nothing, but to make a book about beef, it would have to have, like, Cap in it and shit like that. And, of course, you guys, man, always into beef, yo, and this and that. So we were talking about shit, and Destiny's Children's thing came up. Now, the way the whole thing played out is, they used to park, I don't even remember what trains were down there, man. It's because they switched the line. It would be double R's, B's. But the B's, it wind up on the D's, and it got kind of weird towards the very, very end. And this is like what I meant. Like, we would jump around them tunnels like fucking Conan, Savage Sword. Like, I had a saw that would cut trees down with it and shit. You know, we all carrying all these crazy weapons and shit because we had people out there that wanted to fuck us up, man. So, anyway, it was like this. I'm going to stand like this. JJ was here. Now, if you've been paying attention to my past videos, I told you JJ is very short. I was next. Then was Gary, who wrote Sash. Sash, BKB 357 SASH. Sash, Gary Pinedo, God rest his soul. He was behind me. Then it was Lace, and maybe D3 was there. I don't remember. I think D3 was still locked up. Poor guy got fucked up back then, man. Well, he kept getting out and doing crazy shit and going back in. But anyway, what happens is we're walking up to the platform, you know, trains and shit. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I smell paint. You know? As soon as I say that, these dudes come out. They were like hiding, like some little cookie thing or something. Like, yo, what you write? So they pull out the gun on us. Now, like I said, JJ's short, like this. So the gun is like right over JJ's head, like aiming at my chest, you know. So then, you know, they're like, right, they had beef with Ghost and Ven and them, apparently. I mean, you gotta realize now, Show, Dome, DC3 and them, these fucking dudes were pulling off some amazing fucking old cars, man. I'd say towards the end, man, they did some of the best fucking graffiti out, man. Like when it came to like nailing up them trains properly, yeah, they were doing like fucking Finxes and shit, and like, yo, just these whole big color schemes and nice style letters, and beautiful characters, man. Yo, Destiny's Crew. I keep saying Destiny's Children, you know, because of the group, but Destiny's Crew, man. Yo, them fucking dudes were putting it in. You know, I always said too, like when KK was doing a lot of these things, like KK would do a piece to KK1, and then have a picture of him driving in a Mercedes, and the license plate would be like 357. KK also did the, KK had nothing to do with, KK was with us, 357, you know, and KK did the Honeymooners whole car with Ralph and Norton at each end, and fuck the Mambo, let's do whole cars. You know, towards the end it became all about whole cars, man. Fuck running around doing stupid little fill-ins and tags and shit. Whole cars, do the whole side of the fucking car or don't even show up, man. That's how it was. Because space was hard. You really had no right to fuck with anyone else's shit if you're going by the rules. So the only way you could do it without causing problems would be doing the whole side of the car. You know, cover every inch of the fucking one side of the car, you know. That's what we're doing. But yeah, these Destiny crew, man, they were fucking doing some really, really, really beautiful shit, man. They did one that was like a big football player. And they were doing lines, some of them fucking train lines that were like the 2s and the 5s were fucking burnt back then, man. Burnt. I myself haven't fucked with the 2s and 5s for about 8 years at that point. I left that shit alone every time I go there. Fucking raids. I'm not talking about people working on the trains or motormen. I'm talking about fucking police officers. It's just that shit was so fucking burnt. You can still sneak around the yard and shit like that, but I didn't fuck with the 2s and 5s. I stayed the fuck away from them towards the end. Towards the last 3 years, like 87, 88, and 89, I really didn't touch them at all. Anyway, yeah, Show, Dome, DC3, a couple of them. There's a bunch of them. Beautiful fucking old cars in burnt spots, man. They had to be going where this shit was hard, man. You know, 233rd, whatever, man. They were going to some weird spots, man, to get that shit. I don't know, somewhere up there in the 200s or something. I mean, I don't think they were doing them in the yard, but they were doing beautiful old cars on the 2s and 5s. I think Cope too was actually crossing them out. They had a lot of beef with a lot of people. So anyway, getting back to us, we were in this place. The world knows the place as Under Central Park. Now, my people, we called it Tishman because it was Tishman Company that was building this tunnel that no trains ran through. It's the 2nd Avenue tunnel. They've been building it for like 100 fucking years. Now it's actually a 2nd Avenue train that runs up and down. But this wasn't even that line. This was another line that they were spreading out to go, and it's kind of like the F now, I think it is, and it goes out from this stop here, 63rd Street, 2nd or 3rd Avenue, and then it goes out to, I think it stops on Roosevelt Island, and then the next stop is Queensbridge houses out there in Queens, a Long Island City type area, and that just keeps going out. But anyway, Tishman. We call it Tishman because it used to be a construction company that was building that tunnel. Like, we'd been down there before there was even train tracks down there. And we'd go down there and steal all the power tools. I used to steal a lot of shit, man. I was big on construction sites just because I knew these people that would buy these fucking power tools and shit off us. So yeah, we did a lot of construction sites, and that was one of them. And then one day we were just down there fucking around. We bumped into trains. You know, me, Tom Elliott, and D3, and Lace. You know, we told Lace he went there, and we started doing trains down there, and we started bringing Gary down there, and before you know it, the whole world was going down there. But, yeah, you had these guys, Destiny's crew. Now, they pulled out a gun. JJ was here, I was here. I believe Gary Pinedo, who wrote Sash, S-A-S-H, was behind me, and then Lace, and then one other person. Might have even been Kaya, but no, I think Kaya already stopped at that point, yeah. Kaya was gone by then, C-A-Y-A, yeah, he stopped. He wasn't around here, no, I don't know what happened to him or where he went or what, but he disappeared, like, off the face of the earth. And, he's back around now, he's on Instagram and stuff, yeah. So yeah, they pulled out a gun. JJ's like, oh shit. So, Lace and Gary, Sash, like, oh, what the fuck is that? So I remember turning around. I'm like, oh, could you please shut the fuck up? Because the bullet ain't gonna fuck with him at all. You know, but the bullet is definitely gonna go through my fucking chest. The shit is aimed at my fucking heart. I told him, like, I remember I turned around. I told him they had the gun out. I said, yo, 1 second, man. I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up, man. This dude's got a gun pointed at my fucking chest, yo. Chill, alright? Just shut the fuck up. No, he's got a gun, alright. You know, they had little sticks and shit, you know? I'm like, yo, it's a fucking gun, man. Just chill, you know? So they're like, yo, what you fucking right? Blah, blah, blah. I told him I write RD 357. JJ's like, yo, JJ 357, this, that. Gary, very, you know, polite person, didn't really talk too slangish or nothing. He was like, Sash 357, BKB, and all types of weird shit. And then Lace said, Lace 357, this, that. So, yo, with Destiny Crew. I'm like, yeah, that's good, man. Yo, we see your shit out there, man. You guys are tearing it up, man. You know, this, that, blah, 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 blah. So like, yo, you guys got no beef with us. I'm like, nah, man. They said, and they actually told us, we talked to them for a couple of minutes, and they actually said, yo, we thought you were Ben and Ghost and shit. So I pointed at JJ. I was like, yeah, he looked like Ben, like the height, you know, because Ben's a real little guy, you know. So, you know, we talked for a little while. I was like, no, I told them, we actually got problems with the same guys, man. We just crossed out a bunch of their whole cars. We've been crossing them out, trying to catch up to them for quite some time now, you know. So, no, we are not them. We don't like them. As a matter of fact, we want to fuck them up just like you want to fuck them up. It was like they were talking about Ghost, Ben, and just that whole posse. You know, it was all mess of them. I can't even begin to remember the names of them, so many of them. But, yeah, we had beef with the same people as them, so I said, all right, yo, peace. We walk away and go to the other side. There's two sets. You have one set here, and then you go through the next tunnel, like uptown, downtown, but this would be east and west, more or less. So then we go into the other tunnel. Lace doing his whole car. I don't remember what I did. It was just another silver and black blockbuster RD. And yeah, I think me and JJ shared a car. It said JJRD, just one car me and him shared. And Sash did a whole car. And I think KK might have been there. KK might have been there too. But anyway, as we're doing our shit, you know, they come over and they're like, yo, we're done now. Don't fuck with our shit, man. Don't go crossing our shit out. You know, the Destiny's crew, they're completely done where they were. So now they walk over to us and they're like, yo, we're done with our shit. You know, they looked at Lace's stuff, and, you know, looked at us and it's nice, you know, this, that, blah, 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 blah. I said, yeah, we'll go check out what you did. They're like, yo, don't cross it out, man. You know, it's just, you know. We're like, nah, man, we ain't gonna do that shit. No bigger than hell. They leave. We don't cross their shit out. We go over and look at it. Beautiful work, like always. They're always just doing amazing work. So, they leave. We finish our shit. We leave. I go back down there like 2 or 3 days later, and I'm with Sash. It was me, Gary Sash, you know, Sash Pinedo. JJ was there. Lace wasn't there, or Lace was already there or something. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, they fucking shot me, man. They shot me with a fucking flare gun. I had an army coat on and shit. You know, I go there. They're actually doing their work. They looked at us, you know, coming up. And I'm like, oh, I forgot to tell you. When we went to take pictures, I did not take pictures of my stuff. I never do. Like I said, I don't even remember what I fucking did that day. It's just like a person does fill-ins. Like, they don't remember every fill-in they did, you know. And it was just a big blockbuster. I've done so many of them fucking things. I personally didn't go to take pictures. The only time I would go taking pictures, you go outdoor stations, and you go across the thing, you take the pictures, you pull the emergency brake, the train stays a little longer, take all the pictures you fucking want, you know? So that's what we would do, but I myself didn't do that. Unless someone was there and they had weed, like we're turning it into something fun to do or something, you know, then yeah, sure, why not? I'll go hang out with them and take pictures. But I don't go and take pictures. And the people that were taking the picture came back and like, yo, that fucking Destiny's Crew thing. I don't think we called it Destiny's Crew because we didn't really know about that. I think they were going under a bunch of different things because you had the Dome and Zoo and all, but we were like, yo, them guys, that shit got dog, man. You know, the dudes that pulled out the gun on us, their shit was all crossed out. Then a train will pull into that tunnel on a Friday and it won't leave until like Monday morning. You know, so we were there, it was probably Saturday or Sunday morning. I like to go on Sunday mornings and stuff. A good way to spend the day. I don't really remember the whole ins and outs of it, but when that shit pulled in, of course it was a whole different train than the train we did because they were on the other side, but the train pulled in and they saw their shit all crossed out, so they're like, oh, that shit got dissed, yeah. It's like, oh, well, we didn't do it, you know. So I go to the train tunnel, the same spot, same place, come down the same staircase. I make the same turn. I'm with Gary and JJ. And as soon as I come, it's dark. Just boom! The whole fucking thing just lit up like a flash. Now, when your eyes are used to the darkness for a long period of time, at that point, that area is dark. But Tishman, the layup itself, is not dark. It's actually as lit as this room is. And you have a catwalk and the train slanted out, so you can really get like nice. You know, you can do the whole fucking sides of it. Good place, man. You had a nice room, a little extra room compared to your average catwalk with your train. But where this took place, it's darker and it's wet. It's also where the ice was on the floor. Where I was saying, Cost KRT would run and slide and bust his ass. Yeah, it's one place is dark, and that's where the staircase comes down. You see, because we didn't jump in through the tunnel, like through the station like everyone else. We had a couple of hatches. We had one hatch. Well, they knew about that too, Ben and them, because they had tags above the hatch. It was just a metal grating right behind the pony rides in Central Park, where you get on a little pony, like a carousel. It's not a carousel like a fucking ride in Coney Island. They're actually real fucking ponies with a little thing on the back. They ride in Central Park, 63rd, 64th Street. You go to 63rd Street, 64th Street, 5th Avenue, you go to Central Park where the wall is like this, you look down that wall, you'll see the hatch I'm talking about. They welded it shut. You can't go back down there no more. But, yeah, we'd climb in there. Then we'd go to 2nd Avenue, right across the next block from my house where I live. And it's a door like this. You go, you get a butter knife. Bing, it's an air vent station. You go, bing, open up with a butter knife and go right down. Then if you go down New York Avenue, we had the hatch key that you could open and we'd go there. And so we had a lot of different ways in there. But this time, we were coming up from that hatch near Central Park, 5th Avenue. You take a grating, you lift up the grating, you hop in. It's a pretty far jump. There's actually a little ladder there. We go down that staircase. It's a lot of fucking stairs, man. Because that shit's under the N, the R, the 6s, the 4s, the 5s. It's under all that shit. So that shit's all going this way. It's deeper than that, even, you know. It's a fucking lot of stairs. A lot of stairs. And it's just like 10, 15 flights, man. But, oh yeah, there was something walking up. Boom! I'm like, yo, I thought that was fucking done, you know. So we had the Ridgies and the JFK Expresses in this part. Remember, the guy shot me. And it was a flare gun. If it was a real gun, I would have been dead. You know? So fucking, like, as close as I am to this camera, boom! Shot me right in the fucking chest. I had an army coat on. I wound up having like a big blood blister hanging off the side of my neck, man. I swear, this shit was like a fucking, like a can of soda or something. Some like big blop right here. It never damaged me. I got no proof of its existence. It was a big water bubble here. I looked like the fucking Elephant Man. And they broke a couple of my ribs when the projectile caught me in the ribs. It broke a few of my ribs. And I was home and I was crawling around for a while. And I told my mother, I think I gotta go to the hospital. And I had a few broken ribs. But once they shot me with that thing, smashed their face into the fucking window, subway. Because I figured I only have like maybe 4 or 5 heartbeats before I'm done, dead. You know? And I thought I got shot with a fucking like a 45 or something, for Christ's sake, you know. But yes, started fighting, this, that, tossing people around. I bit someone. All the people I was with, they were gone. I wound up coming out of there by myself. I went home. Like I said, I was rolling around the floor for about 2 or 3 days. I'm like, yo, every breath I take, every laugh, every cry, I try to take a shit on the toilet. It fucking hurts, man. You know, I'm like, yo, I gotta go to the hospital. So yeah, a few broken ribs. But the reason I was talking about Eddie, IBM, first class crew, was, he wrote Risk, was because he put that in that book, Destiny's Crew book, about that incident. But they say, yo, dude, man, Rob, man, like, we like you guys, we ain't shoot you guys, man. You know, I figured they shot me under the impression that we crossed their shit out. Because whoever crushed your shit out didn't leave any tags. So I figured they figured, yo, we did that shit. So, yo, there's that motherfucker's right there. Yeah, shot right in the fucking rib cage, man. But they're like, nah, that wasn't us, man. We don't fucking run around with flare guns, man. We had a real fucking gun pointed at you, you know? So, all right. Fuck, I mean, we do all types of weird shit. I've done some foul shit to people. People have done some foul shit to me. You know, it is the way the world turns, man. You know, we're all one on this earth. But, yo, those guys really did some really good shit, man. Destiny's Crew, I really liked them. They picked up a lot of problems along the way, but I think just because they were burning everybody, man. Like, yo, they were burning everybody. They were doing wild shit, man. Yeah, man. Nice zoo pieces, ZOO. Doom. Dome. They weren't even doing the Hall of Fame, for Christ's sake. They were going up 106th and Park and doing that shit there. They had some involvement with the West Side, like Hell's Kitchen area. This kid Neck, NEC. I knew him pretty well. Actually knew a lot of them old school Irish dudes, but you know, Neck was a younger guy. And he had the Bentleys. I knew a lot of them dudes, like like the West Side, the Westies. You know, a lot of that shit. You had. My mother was cool with the older crowd. You know, she immigrated from Ireland and stuff like that, so she knew a lot of the people that were actually like in the newspapers and shit, and fucking around and causing problems and shit. But yeah, I pretty much hung out with the guys that took over after that, like after all that Gotti bullshit and stuff like that. You know, I knew the guys after that. I knew them very well. We used to see what I used to do. Actually, this one time it was me and D3. We'd go into bars. You know, I'd buy a nice coat. It's an army coat or a leather coat or something. I go in a bar. I put my coat on a hook over like a woman's fur coat. Like we go to like the Carnegie Lounge. Like we go to these fancy fucking restaurants and shit like that. Just like slash bars. You know, I put my coat over like a mink or a fox or something. I walk around, go to the bathroom and shit, see if there's any pretty women in there and shit to talk to. Grab the coat with the fur coat. I'll grab it. I'll grab the fucking boy. One time I was doing that, it was me and D3, and we bumped into some Irish chick. This fucking thing was weird. It was a mink, and it actually still had the little faces of the mink on it. It was like 6 or 7 of them this way. And then on the back, it trailed down. So we hang out with some Irish chick. I mean, we couldn't figure out who wanted to fuck with her and shit, but I took her to my house, and I was sexually involved with her that night. Then I got up, I went to school the next day, and my brother was screwing around with her for a while, because he lived there too. And my brother had sex with her, and by the time I came home, she was gone. I never saw her again. But the Bentleys were there, and Kevin Bentley, I believe it was, Brian. There's a few of them, but also Neck. And I don't know, somehow we got in an argument. A little NEC, he's a redheaded kid. And they were like trying to like steal the girl with the fur coat, or the girl and the fur coat, or some crazy shit, you know. But yeah, man, them guys are salty dogs, man. West Side, Hell's Kitchen, the 50s, and dudes didn't take no shit. Good guys, man, good guys, man. They put in a lot of work, man. You know, shit like that, not necessarily. Well, Neck, he got up. I used to bump into him a lot in winter layups, too. M's, the R's under 49th Street and shit like that. I used to bump into them there. You know, in the winter, they park the trains in the express tracks. You can ride on them. Yeah, that's about all I could say with those two topics. So now, as far as it goes with me talking, I was up to about 89, 90-ish. Me moving up to the Bronx and all that. Bronx, pretty much, I want to just skim through that, because that's probably one of the only points in my life that I was actually living a normal life. You know, like, I'd wake up every day, I'd eat healthy, I was jogging a lot. I had my own little weight room. I could lift my weights and stuff. And I was jogging around the Woodlawn Cemetery every other day with my wife. That's about 4 miles. And then to get there is like another 2 miles. So a good 7-mile run or something like that, 4, 5, 6, 7 miles or something. And I was very healthy and just shoplifting a lot, stealing a lot of shit, selling it, making money and stealing shit we like and stuff like that. That went on for a couple of years until I got divorced and went back down to Manhattan. And that's where it got a little tricky, because when I came back down to Manhattan, I was like, all right, yo, let's do this. You know, as far as it goes with graffiti, let's get fucking busy. You know, I had like been waiting and just kind of sitting on my hands for a while, watching all these other assholes popped up. I had this one guy, fucking MQ, DMS, he started crossing me out. Like I said, I wasn't even writing at that point. I wasn't even living in that area. Like when he wasn't writing, like he just started writing. And you know what it is too? A lot of people thought it was cool. Like if you got beef with RD, you're like a real writer or something like that. I don't know what the story was behind that. But so many different people did that to me. There's so many people just crossed me out just to cross me out. Never knew me or met me or anything like that. I never even went over them or anything in any way, shape, or form. And they would just come at me like that, you know. But you know, when I came back down from the Bronx after getting divorced and everything, a lot of these people, like, you got to realize there was no money in graffiti, you know. And, like the word graffiti artist. Now, an artist is an artisan. Now, that is a word that means you're selling your artwork. So we were graffiti writers, but not artisans. A graffiti artist has to be someone that is actually an artistan, which artistan, is someone that does their craft for money, whether it's singing, poetry, art, drawing, painting, whatever it is you do. The moment you start selling it, you're an artist. I mean, that's in the English language, the word, how it works. So I never really saw how that fit in at that point. You had a lot of people out there at that point. I mean, we're getting into it was all streets, it was tags and stuff like that. And I used to hit the streets a lot also when I was robbing these motorcycles. It's probably the first time I actually came to Manhattan would be with JJD3, GSXR11, which was the Flying Hawaiian, who was another Sammy. So many of us would run graffiti all over the fucking place, man. Yeah, we would run around writing graffiti when we'd steal motorcycles, and one of us would have a can of spray paint on us, so we'd catch some tags and stuff. I mean, we were everywhere on Manhattan Island. If you watch my last videos, Manhattan Island is the only thing I cared about. At that point, I was also going all the way down First Avenue to the last. So you're looking at the fucking river, Staten Island and shit. And I go all the way up Second Avenue. Writing graffiti, and I'd go through this shit like I'm fucking hitting the insides of a subway car. RT, like, you know, for real. Like, back then, that shit was skinny caps, but, you know, it wasn't thick, fat shit like they got now. But, yo, I did so many fucking tags. I did that, I just looped the whole fucking island of Manhattan that way. And then, I left, got married, went to the Bronx, came back down after the divorce, and yeah, I come to these 357 guys. I'm like, yo, what's up? Now, Lace, I understand. Lace, he's an MTA subway graffiti writer. He believes graffiti should not be anywhere but on the MTA subways. So when the MTA subways got clean, we fucked around in tunnels, we did those stations, mounts of tunnels when the trains are coming out above ground. All that shit is fair game for him, but he's not going to run around the streets doing that shit. It's just never his style, you know. Although there was a Lace Neon, N-E-O-N, wow, that was probably like 1980, 81, down near the UN building. If you're on the FDR Drive, he spray painted that shit through a fence. Believe it or not, that shit is still there. But it's just, you can't see it no more. I could see little remnants of the black and the silver spray paint, but that shit was like 79, 80, 81 or something like that. It was before I even wrote graffiti, that thing was done. So, yeah, Lace goes back far. And he just refused to write on anything else. But all the other guys, I'm like, I had a vision, man. I'm like, yo, let's lock this shit down, man. Like, once and for all, man. Let's do this, yo. Nah, you know, this, that, we're doing something else. You know, everyone's got a different little scheme to do and shit where they're actually making money. You know what I mean? To sit around and they're looking at me like I'm some kind of fucking idiot or a retard or something. Like, you want to write graffiti, man? Come on, man. You know, jump on this shit here. We're making this, we're doing that, blah, blah. I'm like, nah, man, fuck that. Let's do this. Like, I have a vision. I'm going to do it. And I honestly never accomplished that. As a matter of fact, you know, what I wanted to do, like I wanted to make it end all discussions like who really did it. You know what I mean? Like I was there, like mentally, and we could just fucking smash the fuck out of everything. You know? We'll be undefeated. Like no one could ever say anything differently. Like that was how my mind was set. Like no one could say, oh, well, maybe this guy or maybe that one. It would just be, nah, you guys rocked. You know? And they weren't aboard. They weren't with it. So my brother, Sean, who wrote Sean, and he did SD tags, he actually's got an SD tag in that Dondi book. Zephyr wrote, Dondi White, the book. If you look at the insides, there's a few pictures of tags of old insides. You'll see an SD at the top, 2 dots after. I think there's an Aaron tag there, Joey, Yoke City Mob, TDS. Yeah, that was my brother. He introduced me to this guy, Justin. He's a good guy. He wants to go writing. I'm like, all right, let's do this. But me and Justin took off, man. We just started going off, man. We had all types of, like, we even had these little toy fucking Star Trek. There's phones and shit kind of not around. We had these little Star Trek fucking toy walkie-talkies. And you keep it in the pocket. And then I had a box, a cardboard box that was for a refrigerator. Now, I'd get inside the box, right? I cut a flap in it like this, right? A flap. Push it down, it opens up like a little door. Right? Now here, I'd put a hole. So I could look through, see what's going on outside the box. And right here, I'd put 2 little holes. And then what I would do is, we would put it up against the gate, like right on Broadway, 42nd Street, wherever. It'd be a big box. Open up the flap, I'd do my R. Yeah? And with the 2 little holes, I'd stick my fingers in the holes, lift up the box, walk over a few steps, do my D, you know, through the little hole. And we just do this shit down the fucking avenue. Like, I'm talking like Broadway, 42nd Street. That is the technique. That's how I got those gates. People used to wonder, how the fuck he did that? That's how I did it. Cars go by, they just see a big box. Now, it might get a little weird if they see the box moving, which actually happened once or twice. But I think they didn't realize it, actually, the police. I think they thought the wind was moving the fucking boxes up there. But anyway, we never had a problem. I do that. Normally 1 block, because you got to get out anyway, or cross the street. You don't want to lift it up and walk across the street. Although you could, it's 3, 4 in the fucking morning at that point, you know. But normally, go 1 block and then leave it at that corner. Then Justin would get inside the box and do the same thing. I'd save every other gate, and he'd do the same thing. And I do Artie. This was just DWC. You have a couple of Justs out there. You also have Just WF from Uptown. Nice guy from the Bronx. Yeah, WF, world famous. And he hated my the Just that I was writing with. They had some beef, they had some exchange of words and shit. But the weirdest thing is, like, we smashed this city. In my mind, and everyone that's come up to me has said, yo, Rob, that shit is off the fucking hook. It's like 3 or 4 months we had to hold every fucking gate, man. Like, every fucking nook and cranny. Like, yo, we took that shit down, man. Me and him, like, I remember Wayne COD was like, damn, that shit was like the course of a week or 2. It was actually like 3 months or something. But yeah, we had that shit so fucking smashed, man. You see what it was? Everyone was writing with black spray paint. You know, flat black, semi-flat black, ultra-flat black, glossy black, black. No other color. Black on every gate. I came by with the white Rusta with the baseball cap. Oh, I tell you, I went over everyone. Mother, man. Because honestly, nobody was writing. Nobody was fucking writing at that point. The city was dead. It was like, just no one was writing graffiti. It was a weird moment. So me and Just came out real fucking hard, man. Yo, everyone and their mother came out after us, man. They were like, yo, they're back. Go get them. Like, yo, they started ragging that shit, but we were still not more than everyone. Because I knew that was going to happen. I didn't know that they'd come back out of retirement, but I went over everybody. Like, every fucking body. Friend or foe, I went over them. I was like, fuck that. It's time for me to shine, you know? No room arms. Very similar to the subway era towards the end. So, in doing that, I picked up a lot of problems. I believe that's when my beef started with YKK, with Scuff and them. And we just kept doing that shit and doing it. And then it's crazy, but like 357, the guys that I came to first, and was like, yo, I got this idea, man. Let's shut this shit down, man. Anyone come up to it, we'll break their ass. We'll just mow over everyone in their fucking crews, their graffiti. Fuck them all. Let's do this. They're like, come on, Rob. What are you, 10 years old? Like, there's this shit there, you know, there's like, that's it. Like, come on, Rob. You're 10 years old. I'm doing this now. I'm doing that now. You know, they got all types of little schemes and shit. These people, they're not honest people, man. But, you know, they're doing dirt. Well, I'm thinking graffiti. They're thinking about making money. So I go out and I do this shit with Justin. DWC, Dogs, Wolves, and Coyotes. And I swear to you, 357 guys actually started going over Just. Like, I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I get it, you ain't with me, you're against me or something, but like, wow, what the fuck? Like, yo, you dudes are like retarded, man. Like, I don't know, like, the shit didn't make sense to me, but 357 actually started going over Just. So I'm like, I got a vision. And I came to you guys first with the vision. You know what I mean? And you guys shut me down, so I found someone like-minded as myself. And we go out, and then you're going to start ragging his shit? Meanwhile, you could be ragging our fucking enemies, man. Like, we could use a hand out there. So, now what happens is, I'm like, yo, whatever. And you could see I never pushed 357 when I was writing with Just. Never, ever, ever. Never did it. Actually, I never really pushed 357 because it's just a waste of paint when you're writing graffiti. I just do RD. If you don't know I'm in 357 by now, you've been living under a rock. I don't have to write it, you know? So I would just do tags, RD and Just, RD, Just, RD, Just, RD, Just. And these guys come by and cross Just out and shit. And like I said, like they added to the problems. And it really wasn't a problem because they'd come out once in a blue moon. We were out there like religiously, like 3 days a fucking week, dumping out each 7 cans a night. You know, 7 cans just on tags, man. Just on tags that we were dumping that shit out. And believe it or not, I believe these guys got jealous, but I mean, they had the opportunity to go forward. So now, from then on, I was kind of like, ah, fuck these guys. I mean, there's a few dudes I hang out with, I'm chilling and shit like that, you know. But, yeah, that was some weird shit. I never understood that. Still to this day, I didn't even ask questions about it. These people are fucking weirdos, man. But, we had beef with the whole fucking city. So, and even my own crew doing that to my partner in graffiti wasn't even hurting us. And later on, the computers and stuff, because this was like 97, 98. We were thinking about 99, 2000, the new millennium, you know. We were on a race to that shit. No one else was writing. But then everyone and their mother came back out and started writing again. So, many years passed. I'm going to skip forward a bit. You guys are talking a lot about this guy, R.E., Mikey. He was a good friend of mine, man, but that's still like 20 years away, man. Like I was out there like that, you know. You know, you guys know this, that, and you guys don't hear or know much about the people I'm actually speaking about. But yeah, Mikey, R.E., I didn't bump into him until like 20 years later. Like honestly, I was still going. It was like 20-something years, 20-something years actually, until I bumped into him. So we still got a lot to cover before I even start to scratch that surface, man. But anyway, out there writing with this guy Just, we're tearing shit up. Got these guys going over us, everyone, their mother's fucking going over us, and we just kept going and going and going and going. And I moved. I moved to, no, that didn't happen then. Let me think where it did, right? In 2000, I moved down to Jamaica, the West Indies, but we're not there yet. Yeah, let me slow back a little. So we're at, me and Justin, writing graffiti all over the place, catching a lot of tags and doing a lot of shit. And I'm going to leave it right about there. I also have to go back to the 80s. Going backwards, there's so much shit I did on trains. I have to mention a lot of these. I never forgot about them. I'm just like I've done so much shit with these Astoria dudes, man. You know, like PK, Ripe, KK, Form, fucking AWE, was it all? Chrysler, TPW. I knew there was so many writers out there in Queens that I would fucking chill with and write with. So many different people. Then you had breakoffs from them, which was like Nash, OA. I did a lot of shit with him. But Ripe, RP, he was my bombing partner for a good 2-3 years. That's when I started doing fill-ins, and I really wasn't a fill-in like a bubble letter guy, but that's when I started doing those. And yeah, he was up a lot, but he never wanted to get off them damn ding-dongs. Like, he always wanted the letter lines, IMDs, the BMTs, and I don't mind them, but not like every day, you know. It gets a bit boring, but yeah, that was his thing. I did hit the 6s with him once or twice. I think we did the 2s and 5s once or twice. But yeah, he was really a letter line dude. I was hanging out with him. Yeah. And I got so many different stories about those guys. I'm writing so much graffiti with them, but talk about that some other time. I know I'm forgetting something somewhere along the line with Justin and shit like that. And something else interesting I wanted to throw in there. I can't remember. Alright, yo, peace. Hey, what's up, people? Yeah, I want to show you guys what I've been doing. You know, when I told you guys I'm going to start back in September, I've been painting some pictures. See, I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? Yeah, it's Conan. Remember I was talking about we would jump around train tunnels like Conan, the savage sword of Conan. Yeah, I did that. Another one I did with the Joker. I like the Joker. I can relate to him. You know? He's a funny dude. You see how I look? You see it? I think it came out pretty good. A little car, I think, looks cool, right? See, like he just bombed that shit. Blockbuster. Yeah, because technically a blockbuster is also fireworks. Yeah, we used to fuck around fireworks, selling down on Mulberry Street and shit like that. Off of Canal Street and shit. We was selling for this guy, Tommy. Tommy Candyman. He's the first dude I ever met with full sleeves, fucking tattoos and shit. And it was cool. He was down. Those guys were all with Matty the horse and shit like that, just to fuck around down there. This is Venom. That's what I'm not too happy with, man. I don't like how I did the Terminator's jaw. Not the jaw, but the cheekbone. It just looks too smooth, like, no? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I could do like, you know, but the image I was looking at when I drew it, like, of course, I'm going to look at the image. I was actually watching the fucking movie on TV, too, and I was trying to get the fucking thing right. You know, the shoulders are a little goofy, too. But, you know, it's like he's looking at a can of Krylon spray paint, you know. And this is something interesting, too. I don't know what to do with it yet. Maybe you guys can give me some comments. She weighs a ton. You know, a piece of goddamn train tracks. I'm thinking, you know, do a big RD up on that shit or something, you know. Yeah. I can think, you know. I did well with my time, you know. But, you know what else I wanted to say? You know, I started talking about my big old reticulated python, Gilbert. You guys are like, what the fuck's he talking about a snake for? It's one of the best things I've ever stolen, that snake. When I got him, he wasn't even 2 feet long, man. By the time he was gone from me, you know, I got in trouble. I went to Spofford. I came back out. They got rid of my snake, my mother, my brother, and them, you know. You can't expect them to take care of the fucking thing. I was eating like 2 chickens a fucking month, like a fucking chicken. I go up to the poultry market and buy them fucking things. So yeah, I can't blame them for that. And the snake actually lived on, you know, was up to the pet shop and shit. But yeah, when I got him, he wasn't even 2 feet in. He was like a hatchling, you know. He was like 18 inches, 19. Yeah, up until he was like 13 fucking feet. He was like this, you know, big fat motherfucker. Yeah. You got that, and let me see, was there anything else? No. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, my son's peace book, too. Remember I was telling you guys about the black peace book? Somehow I switched off. I'm weird like that. I get into conversations and I spin all over the place. It's probably too much LSD or something in my life. But, I mean, Anyway, once again, what was I talking about? My son and his black books, yeah. I would have him with this black book, real little, 4, 5, 6 years old. And I'd go to these comic book conventions also. This is when I was hanging, talking to Herb Trimp and shit like that, I go to these comic conventions with my son with the little black book, like a peace book. I have him go up to all the fucking artists, man. And I would have him go up and he would go like this, "Excuse me, sir, can you draw in my book? You're my favorite artist." I didn't even tell him, like, yeah, this guy does Spider-Man, this and that, blah, 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 But, he was so young and shit, and I said, he's got a black book. We actually got almost now, we got 1.5, one book completely filled. I mean, we got Hanna-Barbera up on that shit. We got the people that were doing that fucking, Cabbage Patch, not the Cabbage Patch Kids, the Garbage Pail Kids, the cards, Jim Lee signed it. Yeah, Jim Lee drew, I think Cable, I forget. It's a whole book full of shit, man. Everyone you could think of, man. He's got in that shit. Spy versus Spy, the original people. Mark Baudet. It's actually been pretty impressive doing these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles now. His father, of course, was Von Baudet. And Herb Trimp, of course, drew in it a few times. G.I. Joe is in it. Tex Serier, which is a good guy. Tex Serier. He worked on the Ghost Rider and shit. I've known him for a long time. Just on and off, bumping into him and shit. He did the Punisher and shit like that. Just throughout comic book conventions and stuff. My son's book, it's like that, all like, it's a solid book, filled, fucking page after page. Some of the best comic book artists from them at that time, like when my son, from like 2001, 2002. And a lot of these guys also are from 20 fucking years ago, 30 fucking years ago, you know what I'm saying? They're at these conventions, drawing in these books. So yeah, my son would have this black book and he'd go up to them, ask them to draw a picture. "Oh yeah, sure, kid." They draw it and give it back to him. We kept doing that shit until it was like, that'll be $50. Until like you got too big and shit, like it's not like a little kid no more. And shit, they're like, "Oh, like a little kid, oh my God." They draw in the book. But it gets to the point where it's like, "Go draw my book." They're like, "Get the fuck out of here, man. You're gonna have to pay me for that shit." It was that Samani or one of them guys. Yeah, the guy used to do Thor. I remember. He's like, "That'll be $75." Like, pop. Not even, we were robbing the place anyway. Well, not him. He wasn't. But, yeah, funny shit. Yeah, peace, people.